So let's start with the C, the cocktail part. So someone might read this book cover and say, "Well, I don't drink," or "I don't like cocktails. I'm more of a beer guy." What would you tell that person then?
I would tell them that I support you, that I don't drink alcohol either. There's not a single drink recipe in the book. But the phrase cocktail party exhibits and represents the social idea of a casual event that's meant to meet people. A cocktail party, when you say it immediately, people have the idea that it is a lot of lightweight, easy conversations, and it's an event potentially that they can pop into, and they can arrive late and they can show up at whatever time, and it's not a big stress if how they dress or anything like that. So I use the phrase cocktail party to encompass this easy mental model of a lightweight social event. And it doesn't have to be about drinks. If you don't want to serve alcohol, you don't have to. One thing I will note about the book is I actually suggest guests not to have beer, because beer drinkers are often highly brand loyal and they're incredibly picky. Some of them can be incredibly specific about what types of beer that they will drink. Beer is also messy. Beer is often served in single-serving bottles and cans and stuff, and it's a lot harder for me to serve. And so I've just kind of stopped serving beer. You can definitely host a party, and you can have beer, and it's very manageable, but I can tell you that I've hosted hundreds of parties, and I don't serve beer, and I really haven't had any problems.
Yeah, I like the word cocktail because, one, it implies a little bit of an upscale gathering, right? If you say, "Hey, I'm hosting a small gathering," it doesn't have quite the same energy versus like a cocktail party, which could be kind of fancy. It could be like, oh, there's going to be some cool people there versus like, hey, I'm hosting a small gathering. That could be a bunch of nerds, and I identify myself as a nerd, so don't get me wrong. But yeah, I think the word cocktail has that powerful energy that's a little bit more exciting than, I don't know, other words that I can think of.
What do you think of the phrase? Because I went back and forth on this a lot on whether I should use that phrase cocktail party. What do you think of happy hour?
So happy hour, I like, yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, what that means, it's after work.
Yeah.
It's pretty quick and easy.
Right.
Pretty low commitment too, whether you show up or not.
Right.
So if you said, hey, this is the 2-hour happy hour party.
Yeah.
Or the 2-hour happy hour, I'd be like, oh yeah, I would get that.
Yeah, right. So I often wonder if I should have used that. You said something, though, that the phrase cocktail party is slightly upscale and seems slightly more exciting than a happy hour. A happy hour, in my experience, typically lends itself to an event not hosted at the home.
That's true, yeah. And one of the things you mentioned in the book is where you should host.
Yes.
And for most people, I'm going to guess they think, oh, if I'm going to host a gathering, maybe I'll do it at a bar or at a restaurant. But you actually tell people to gather at home.
Yes.
Why is that?
I'm really specific about, for 95% or more of all the people listening to this, hosting at home is the best solution, even if they think it might not be. I believe hosting at home is the best for the following reasons. One, it's very generous. When you host at home, there's no totaling up the tab at the end of the night. They don't have to go interact with a bartender to buy things. They don't have to swipe their credit card. You are the one that is hosting, and you are the one that's giving value to those that are showing up and arriving. When you host that at your home, it truly feels like a generous thing to do. The next reason to host at home is that you can control the environment and the space in a way that you can't at a bar or at a restaurant. At a bar, a lot of people host like their birthday party at a bar. I lovingly call those bardies. And I feel like a little part of me dies inside whenever I get invited to one of those because it's such a missed opportunity. Birthday parties at bars, they're loud, they're crowded, they're not special. You don't know who's with the birthday party, who's not. You're bumping into people. There's not a lot of new conversations that are made. You're just kind of there for the host. A final reason to host at home is that it really allows you to turbo skip the levels of relationship to create these new connections with people. When you invite someone into your home, we were talking about this, it's such a vulnerable act to let somebody and to bring somebody into your home. You're really sharing space with them. And as we talk about building big relationships, when you host at home, you truly do get to show them a piece of you It's the one way that I know to like truly turbocharge the speed at which a relationship can go deep.